Have we scandalized you?
Yes, you have. I'm sorry. You know what? I was doing something over on from your channel to my channel to see if I could stream now because I had meant to do it. Remember when I was on my phone and I wasn't logged in? I meant to
Okay.
stream it also over on my channel. If that's okay with you.
That's fine. I have the permissions on there. That's perfectly fine. Anyone
Okay.
who, comes on with me, they are certainly welcome to stream on their channel as well.
But you know what's
So
going
the
to be?
next question,
Go
uh-huh.
ahead. I'm sorry. No, go
The
ahead.
next
Go ahead.
question Miss
Mhm.
Katina had is, what are your boundaries with a partner? Lauren said that you are to swerve another woman, any woman. You're not to hug her. You are only to touch her hand to shake it or do a fist bump. Chad said he understands. And Jasmine says she needs time to think about this. And he is concerned that she doesn't have boundaries with her partner. What were your thoughts on, Chad, and this whole boundaries with your partner and Lauren's answer?
I'm kind of hey there, life is reality. What's up? I'm kind of like the person that needs some more time to think about it because I don't think this is something I've ever really just sat down to think about. I feel like whatever is appropriate. If your man is a respectful man and he's not can I say hoe? Is that okay?
Hey, he's a 304 or he just
A
community property if
304.
you want to see community property.
Community property, yes. If your man is and he's not a community property type of guy, I feel like this should not ever be an issue. I'm not, and maybe two other thing I have to say is I'm not a jealous person at all, and in my nature. So, like, say for example, I could see my guy if he sees a old friend and he gives them a hug and they reach out and they put their arms open. I don't have a problem with him hugging another lady. I don't. But then again, now if he reaches out and just hugs some stranger and then his hands drifting all down on her behind, I got a problem.
So
So
he can come home smelling like perfume.
well, okay, I guess in this scenario, here was the thing though. In this scenario, I was present both times. So now that brings up another point. No, he should not be coming home smelling like perfume. So yeah, that's a very good point. Or with the lipstick on his collar, on his white collar. No, he should not be doing that. No.
Right. I mean, and it may not be him doing anything, but we do
Oh,
have people out here
oh
trying
yeah.
to cause a ruckus in people's relationships. So he can
Absolutely.
have, right, he can have an innocent, hips turned away hug, and somebody could just press their lipstick against his collar because they know she gonna see. You have to protect not only yourself but the
Hmm.
relationship that you have.
That's
So
it.
I understand what she's saying, but this man has a mama there, and Miss Katina is gonna be hugging her son, and I'm sure he has other female relatives. He certainly can, but I understand her premise of, hey, this is we didn't hear strange and we didn't hear new woman. We just heard if you come around a woman, you better shake her hand and curve her. And Miss
Okay.
Jasmine,
Yeah.
as you said, needed time to think. So, did you have anything else to say with this boundaries portion?
No, not really. I'm curious though. What our viewers, whether they be live or whether they be on the replay gang. I'm very curious, guys. What do you think? What do you think is the answer? And is there a standard answer? Because that's kind of what I guess I was trying to say to you, El Sid. I don't think there is. For me, I don't think there is a standard answer because just like if I see a guy friend versus a work colleague versus a neighbor versus a church member, these are different kind of greetings, perhaps, right? For me. Um,
Right.
but I would always, I love what you said, and that's the key thing is that I would always be respectful of my partner and the relationship. And I used to tell my daughter when she was younger, she was away at college. Um, this one time I came to visit her and she had the door closed. Now my daughter braids hair. She's been braiding hair for years since, middle school. And so the guys would come to her to braid their hair, right? So we go to open the door and she's braiding hair. The guy's in between, like as we do, like she's sitting up and he's between her legs. And I just told her, I said, here's the thing with that is sometimes the appearance of things. So maybe you could leave your door open because I didn't like the way that looked, even though I knew exactly what she was doing and there was no fooling around going on. My daughter's not ever been a loose girl, so I can appreciate that. But it's the appearance of things. So to get back to what you were saying, it's the appearance of things, because somebody could be out and see your husband hugging XYZ person, and then it's a whole thing, right?
Right. And I have to say, I have had to edit myself. I was raised around a group of male friends. I was the only girl amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
And being raised from Pampers to them, I have a certain affinity and, comfortability around them. And I'm one
Right.
of the boys. But when you grow up and you age up, and then I have to think of, if I date someone, will they understand, one, these relationships with these guys, and two, how we present it to them. I have to be prepared for a partner to be uncomfortable with it. And I have to
Yeah.
be prepared to edit myself. And I have had to have a conversation, and I have had to cut, one of them real close and be like, yo, I can't, hug you guys like I would, and, shadow box with
When I was
y'all.
single, when I was single.
Exactly. Cannot. Cannot. We can't be sitting on the same couch, head to toes and hanging out, and we can't. There's a certain form of respect for the relationship. If my
Yes.
partner says that's uncomfortable to him,
Yes.
that we've got to adjust.
Did you see what Kimberly Review said? Yeah, I was just
Yes.
gonna say that's it. She says just a uh handshake only. Thanks for going over to my channel, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Handshake only, is the other one. That was the comment. Handshake only. And yes, the appearance of things, because that's actually very important. And a lot of people don't. I think nowadays people are very careless about a lot of different things, and including appearance. And I'm not talking about personal appearance. I'm talking about the appearance of, it looks like something shady could be going on.
Right. Samantha also says, I absolutely had to edit myself because I'm naturally an affectionate person. You
Yes.
know, pet as well as people. So yes, and I have been
Yes,
told that too
Samantha.
by my husband. I would have a conversation with a complete stranger, and my husband is like, "Well, you were kind of flirty there," and I'm like, "I was just friendly." But I'm like, "Okay, well, what part of that was flirty to you? Because that's the part I need to edit out."
Right.
And he's like, "You were just overly exuberant," and I was like, "Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. I ain't even touch nobody. I ain't lay a hand on your shoulder, but you thought it was too inviting. Now
Yeah.
I gotta pull back.
Yeah. And men
I
are
gotta
like
pull back."
that. Men are like that. I work around a lot of men, and I recently had somebody tell me that when I went to just touch his shoulder, that he got a vibe. And I was like, huh? What? But I am, as to what Samantha's point, I am very affectionate, I'm very touchy, and it doesn't mean a whole lot necessarily, like, especially if I'm just touching you on your shoulder. Don't get excited. But we do have to learn sometimes how to edit ourselves, right?
Exactly, exactly. And we may be a certain way, but that, we need to understand how that translates to our partners. We have to know, and vice versa. Like I've, told him, you know, and he's not, but I've told him, certain behavior patterns that I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't look good. I know you don't have any intentions to it,
Mhm.
but that could be misconstrued by the other party,
Mhm. Mhm.
that they may have an in to create a wedge. So
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
totally understand. And yes, as Aubrey said, please put it in the comments below. Let us know, what are your boundaries with a partner. Do you agree with Lauren? Should you swerve all women, including his mama? Because I didn't hear except your mama. And just handshake and fist bump only. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, as you listen to this. So the last thing, I didn't know why we had this question, but she asked Chad, what would you do if you found out your partner isn't wearing any underwear? And Chad said he don't care. And Mama said you need to wear it around me.
Oh, what? Okay.
Now, that to me, I was like, that's a little too much. That's too much. Mama didn't need to know all that. Didn't need to know all that. Mama did not need to be a party to this. And that's your business. Because you know what? It's under where? It's under away from my view. I don't need to know.
Right, right. What? Yeah. What? Well,
Okay.
It's so funny to me. I was looking at this the other day. Like, so years ago, my daughter pointed out to me that they now have um this underwear, the underwear now that doesn't leave any indentations, so it looks like you're not wearing underwear. And my first thought to that years ago was, why would I want to look like I'm not wearing underwear? I'm a good church girl, right? But, now years later, fast forward, I totally get that when you're in certain types of material and certain dresses and certain clingy pants, even or whatever, why you would want that to look like you don't have on any underwear. And no disrespect to the people that literally walk around with no underwear on. I just couldn't do it.
Mine is called mind your business.
Okay. Yeah, that was a weird question for his mother to be asking, wasn't it?
Unless your pants are riding low and your lines are above and it's no longer under what you're wearing, to me it's called mind your business. Mama was a little, she was a tad uncomfortable with it, but she went with the flow. So Chad and Mom went in the back and they were talking about what their thoughts were, and then Mama finds out, she decides who goes home. I expected Chad to pitch a fit. What did you think about when they reacted to finding out Mama gets to choose?
Yeah, they that was not going over well with the ladies, right? And I think you and I can understand why it wouldn't go over well with the ladies, because it's going to be some clashes between what the mother thinks and who she thinks should go home and who Chad thinks should go home.
So he said he loves his mom, but he would not put this in her hands. It felt like he was under the surface bubbling mad. Because
Yeah.
he said he hopes she does not send the wrong one home because this can cause a rift. If I ain't lived with my mama for over 20 years, y'all, if I ain't lived with my mother over 20 years, why in the world would she be checking for my partner when she didn't raise me?
Now, as a mother, you can't stop those motherly feelings. Um, you just can't. You just can't. So, and until we know more about why this was, or if maybe they exaggerated a little bit in this early episode, I think I'm going to wait to pass judgment on mom not being able to pick and choose for her son, or at least give her opinion about it.
Well, Chad said he don't want to put it in her hands. But again, with all the young men, I'm saying it's already been in your hands all these years, and you ain't picked. So again,
Hmm.
something you're doing is wrong or off. So you need some guidance from Mama. This is what the show is about. So he probably thought she was just guidance, but I wonder if Mama gonna be making all the picks. And I was just expecting Chad's head to explode and for him to be like, oh heck no. But he looked like it. He looked, pissed off, absolutely pissed off. But he kept it under wraps.
How just quick question. How much do you think he's going to be able to keep his feelings under wraps as we move along? Because I think somewhere along the way we're going to have a blow up.
Oh, it's already coming out. It's already coming out just with their interactions on that couch. When she said, "Oh, when the butt starts showing," he's like, "Mommy, then you go to bed." It's it's already come out in his little
Hmm.
subtle ways of, this is how I have lived my life. And we find out when she talks about one woman, I think it may be too much woman for you. He's like, you don't know the kind of woman I can handle. It has been coming out
Yeah,
already with
yeah.
Chad.
He did snap at her on that. Like, yeah, you don't know what kind of woman I can handle. And I would say that's a good point too, though. Like, he was clearly irritated. Oh, you can. That's my
He has
advertisement for
been
Honey Love.
right. He has been irritating and showing his irritation. And while I'm glad he didn't pitch a fit, it has been oozing out of him. This, his little snips to the mother. And when
Hmm.
they talk, they both like Paige. Mama said Paige is an alpha female, and Chad says that she will step up and take the lead if necessary. What do you think about their assessment of Paige?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure Paige out. What do you feel?
I agree kind of like with that assessment because I don't know if Paige would choose Chad. I don't I don't know if Paige would choose him. But I need to see more of Chad. I need him to stop ducking his head down. I need to see more of Chad actually coming into his own. So it's still too early to tell because we just met him. But I
Yeah,
don't know if he gonna rise to the occasion for Paige.
we
For
shall see.
Miranda, yep. For Miranda, mom says she's go with the flow, but she gonna hide some money. And Chad said that is not rubbing him the wrong way. So he's okay with Miranda hiding that money.
Right, right, because he's thought about it, and like most, would these, they're considered millennials, correct? Like most millennials, he's aware that this is the norm nowadays. Women are working, and women are outpacing, at least in the black community, outpacing men with degrees and sometimes their earnings. So, I don't think this should be unusual for anybody to think that you're going to have a separate account or a secret account necessarily. As long as you guys have agreed on financially what each partner's role is financially, I think that should not be an issue.
And he's a financial analyst. She can't hide much from him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go
Right.
there.
Right. Right. Right.
Can't hide much from him being a financial analyst. He may be hiding more from her. Um,
Ooh.
but I'll leave that there. Um, Mom thinks that Jasmine travels too much. Is that a concern?
Well, what if the two of them were traveling together? I mean, is mom concerned that Jasmine is going to be traveling by herself or with her girlfriends? What exactly is mom's concern about the traveling?
I think Mom is concerned that they're gonna travel and be too far away from her.
Mm. Okay. Now that I could kind of understand, but at the end of the day, if his mother decides that she's going to be smothering both during this show and both in real life, I think that's going to be problematic because I don't think he is as mm, passive, let's
Mm,
say, as
right,
you know,
right.
let's say for example, the other guy, I think it's James.
James.
Yeah, I don't think he's as passive, so that will be problematic if mother decides to be overbearing and controlling. And that's a real challenge when you have adult children. So it took me some time to learn the balance, and then there's a different balance per each child, right? Like
Yes,
how involved
there
you're going to
is.
be in their adult life and how much you're going to let go and let them be their own person. That's a
Right.
challenge, and it can be
Because what?
painful. It can be
Because
painful
what?
because you've been
Mhm.
so involved before. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mama says she ain't considering what Chad say he want. Okay, so that's why this mother gonna be a challenge.
Ah, yeah, now that's a real problem right there.
Mama got control. She is holding on to control, and she is going to wield that control. And I think that's the problem that Chad is having. That dad going and y'all gave Mama control, and y'all just don't know what that's going to do to my life. But I think
Mm.
she's just concerned that they're gonna be traveling, they're gonna be far away from her, and she gonna have to make appointments to see them because they may not be home at the time. Now, Lauren, mom says maybe too much woman for Chad, and Chad said mom has not seen him in his element, so she won't know what's too much woman for him.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree with Chad on that. I don't think mom really knows what baby boy, in quotation marks, is like when he's dating. She doesn't. If what he said, what we believe is true, that he's lived away from his mother since eighth grade. Um, and I think we're all different people with different people to some degree, if that makes sense. So who he is around just his mother and his father is going to be different than who he is as a man pursuing a woman.
Correct. He, the young man from eighth grade, the young man that his father raised him, and she has raised him to be as well. As he said, we have not cohabitated in 20 years. There's a difference with, parenting from a distance as to
Yep.
now. But Chad also, even if Mama was in the house, Chad seems to me as the child that would date and keep whoever he's dating away from the home unless this is going to be a fiance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you with that assessment. I think so
So
too.
even if they were in the same state or the same household, I don't think Chad and the way my Mama is so, you know, so I hate to say strong or whatever, so assertive. I would say that mother will have a heavy judgment on whoever he's dating, so he ain't gonna take them home. But she said she is not taking his thoughts into consideration in making her choice for him.
Hmm.
So Aubrey, who did Mama send home?
Oh, I'm
Mama
sorry.
sent
It's me. Miranda, the 30-year-old HR girl that was given a little bit. Someone said it in the chat earlier. She was given a little bit of homey vibes.
Miranda was sent home because Mama didn't like the way she wanted her drink topped off too much. But Chad was pissed. And Mama said he gonna get over it because it is her choice. Now we already seeing this already going back and forth with Mama and son. What are your thoughts on this? With Chad and his mama with this first elimination.
Yeah, we're gonna see some fireworks. I think they're gonna be probably a very dynamic mother and son team on this show, and I think we're gonna get some drama out of these two. So it's not just the women we're gonna see the drama from, but I think it's gonna be some interaction between these two that is gonna be very pertinent. So
Very,
just my
very.
thought. What about you? How do you feel?
Yeah, I think these two, it's the dynamic of their relationship and the choosing of the young ladies. While the others, we have a little bit of it, but I think that these two, there may be friction with this relationship because Mama is in control and she's letting him know she is in control, and he gonna like it whether he likes it or not. So in the previews, we found out James gets a photo shoot. Chad is doing a photo shoot. Okay,
Hmm.
but Chad also said that, he came here to get to know these women, but his mom is the biggest stranger of them all. What did you think
Yeah.
about that line from Chad?
That was scary. That gave me some ominous vibes. That's why I say I think we're gonna see some explosions, whether they be minor or major or in between. I think we're gonna see some things go down between this mother and this son. And hopefully the two of them are able to maybe work out the underlying problems or issues that have nothing to do with him dating anyone.
Right. Hopefully they can navigate this together and
Yes.
come out with a stronger relationship, as mother and son. And I think it can happen. I think it's just communication. She needs to tell him why she thinks a certain young lady is best for him, and
Yes.
he's got to explain why he likes a particular young lady. What are the character keys? Because it can't be just a good time. It can't be just a good time because that's all you've been having, Chad, is a good time.
That's it. That's it. That's all.
but
It
but
it
Mama got to
can't be
know that
just
she's
that.
here to help her son and not cause any harm. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Chad and Katina before we try to wrap this up?
I just really think that Chad is gonna have to be extra understanding with his mom and uh be mindful of his words and mindful of his body language and just really look to grow his relationship with his mom and to understand her. But you said the key thing though too, uh, uh, between both of these people, it's going to be about communication and communicating with love.
Exactly. Exactly. They both have to bring the love into it. And while he's trying to seek love, Mama has to understand there's a tightrope. You don't want him to then resent the lady that you chose because you are wrestling this control with him, because this can backfire.
Right. Exactly. It can.
And the lady don't understand why she catching a stray when it's some back office dealings between mother and son. This is a tightrope that they're on. You have to like the person, but you are finding a love for your son, and he has to like the person and not be lashing out. This is where I see sometimes, not all the time, a gentleman could be lashing out at their significant other because of a strained relationship, unhealed relationship with their mother.
Yes. There you that whole nother topic, girl.
Whole
Whole
other
nother
topic,
topic.
and I will have to grab onto that topic the next episode that we do together.
Yes.
Y'all, I wish to thank actually Aubrey for being here. We covered episodes 1 through 3 because I wasn't watching it, but we are caught up and we'll do one episode a week. Actually, Aubrey, please let everybody know where to find you. What are you covering?
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Actually, Aubrey on YouTube. It's actually Aubrey dot space pod, short for podcast. I'm covering right now the Never Ever Met, also a show on OWN. You got to come over and find out whether Kiki ever kicks her drinking habit or not. And I think that for right now, that's it. We're gonna be doing, and that's, oh, by the way, that's with Jr. from Life is Reality channel, also on YouTube. You can find me on most social medias, all social medias under the name Actually Aubrey. And we will be doing more as the summer comes along and we get back into Ready to Love. That's been my staple for years, is the Ready to Love crew. Go to my channel if you want to see interviews with some of the Ready to Love stars, quote unquote. And that's about it. And I just really appreciate El Cid having me here. And El Cid also, I'm so grateful that she came on the channel last Sunday to do the Never Ever Met. She was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really fun with you and Life is Reality. We had a good old time talking about the recent season of Never Ever Met. That is also on OWN, where people are dating online and they finally meet each other and all have to live in the house together. Now, a caveat I will throw out here for this one, Somebody's Son, I would like, and I put it out there, I would like to know if we could have a cookout with all the ladies and all the guys and all the mamas. And if we can't see if one of the ladies want to change houses, change
That
which son she want to vie for.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. I'm wondering that, but you didn't mention something that on the, I think it was this, was it the second or third episode, there's some coming up, um little vignettes they showed us. And did you see how they're almost like Ready to Love? They were like on a bridge at the end when the guy was picking his.
Yes.
Okay, did you see, who is it? Wait a minute, hold on. Look at my notes. It's
James?
yeah, I think it was, yes, 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 yes. It was James. And we don't see the woman's face, but I feel like I have a pretty good idea which one of the ladies it would be based on her physicality. Did you see that? And what did you
I
think? If
did,
you
and he asked if we want to exclusively date, and somebody said, no, I'm not sure. So yeah, it's going to be spicy. That's why I said it's exclusive dating, but it will definitely be spicy, and we will be here for it. And yes, Samantha, y'all know, if y'all are here, y'all know I stir things up
Yes,
on
she
this channel.
does.
I'm always thinking of another way to put a twist in it, and if the ladies can switch up and say, "Yeah, I'd rather go to his house and vie for his attention. Let me talk to his mama." We could definitely think about doing that. And here on this channel, if you know it, you know it. Elsa 932. I cover Love Is Blind. I cover a lot of the dating shows. I also cover right now Somebody's Son. Um, and we're going over, how can I say it? I have people are putting requests for advice out there on the internet. So I have a segment called Unsolicited Advice where I bring you a relationship question. It's some spicy, some not so spicy, but we do give unsolicited advice. So please make sure you check out that segment. You check out all my Love is Blind coverage. And I find in the comments we are an international group. So apparently, Love is Blind Netherlands is also casting. So we have a lot of Love is Blind coming up for the season. And I also cover Never Ever Met on Another Round JS, and I do that with Just Rhonda 01. We usually do it on Fridays, but this week it has changed. So I'll put it on my community wall where you can find me, leave a little breadcrumbs so we could always get together and stir things up, as Samantha said, the way we do it here. But
Samantha
thank you
has.
so much, actually, Aubrey.
You're
It's
welcome.
wonderful having you here, and we're gonna team up again.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to beg, plead, and steal and borrow you for Sunday's episode because I got a feeling this is going to be off the charts this Friday, and for Sunday's episode for our live chat, right?
Awesome, no problem. So, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.